Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
I swear that after we finish this podcast, you'll be singing this little jingle all day long. It was the catchy Oscar Mayer Wiener song. The spokesperson for this famous meat company commercial was George Molchan. He would travel around the country in the Wienermobile. Oscar Mayer was headquartered in Madison, Wisconsin. George would give away little plastic wiener whistles shaped like a hot dog with the company label on them, and when blown, would whistle the Oscar Mayer song. Of course, we asked him to sing the song.
Well, good morning, Bob.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. It's a beautiful, clear day here in sunny Florida.
Oh, it always is, isn't it? Except when it snows.
Right.
Crazy winter. Hey, we were wondering, what in the world is little Oscar doing now?
Well, little Oscar's down here at Disney World. The Oscar Mayer Company sponsors a restaurant, the Oscar Mayer Town Square Cafe.
You still have your Wienermobile?
And I'm the general host. Yes. Oh, yes, yeah. We still have it. I don't get out with it as often as previously, but we still have it.
Did you ever do any of the commercials, the actual commercials?
Yes. Back in the 50s, like I said, I made about a dozen. We had, in Hollywood, they built a miniature kitchen that we used. And we made several commercials, and, as I was cooking the Oscar Mayer wieners and smoky links and the various products, making up sandwiches. So we had the children, of course. Well, this, like the miniature kitchen, had a small door, which was probably about 4.5 feet opening. And the little children were coming in the door, and I said, come in and bring your mother. And for the mother was a tall gal, about probably 5'8". Well, she had to stoop down to get into my kitchen.
Well, I was saying before that for about 20 years, Oscar paraded in the 22-foot-long, 10-foot-high Wienermobile, visiting Children's Hospital, appearing on television shows, and I think we've all seen you in one time or another somewhere around.
We've been up to Milwaukee.
That's right.
Our area, all over.
Sure. Now, how long? When did that Wienermobile start? When you first started working for him? Was that the beginning of the Wienermobile?
Well, the Wienermobile began. It was a little before my time. I was still in school also. Back in 37.
Well, how did you originally get the job?
Well, I knew a friend. Well, in fact, he was a little after at that time with the company, and I met him when I was in school. And so then the company was expanding in later years there in the 50s. But then they contacted me, and I went up for an interview. And I thought I had it made, but then I got there, and there was a few other little guys up there looking for an interview. And so I was very fortunate enough. Mr. Carl Meyer, Vice President of Advertising, interviewed me up in Madison, Wisconsin, and hired me. And I've been with him ever since and had a wonderful time.
Of course, little Oscar's real name is George Molchan. How tall are you?
4'4", or 10 wieners high.
10 wieners high, okay.
That's what it approximately comes to.
How many children were there in your family?
There were 7 of us.
Now, were they all your height?
No, 3 of us ended up like triplets. I have an older sister and a younger sister. And then I have 3 brothers, all touching 6 foot.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're my little brothers.
Yeah, right.
My younger brothers, anyway.
Besides, working for Oscar Mayer at Disney World, what else do you do?
Well, when I get the occasion, like, well, for instance, in May I'll be in Chicago for the National Restaurant Show, and then I'll be in Dallas, Texas for the SMI, the Supermarket Institute Convention. And I try to do some outside, like speaking to the Lions clubs and the Rotary clubs and the ladies clubs. And I also have the opportunity to visit the children still in the hospitals. And well, we have groups of large retarded groups coming to Disney World there. So I go out and greet them and visit with them. And they're a lovable group.
What do you like best about your job?
I presume it's the joy, I guess, and this gratification, the satisfaction, you might say, that you receive from the children. I mean, particularly the crippled, and the retarded, but even the other children. I mean, their eyes, their sparkling eyes, and their...
I bet you met a lot of celebrities over the years, huh?
Oh, yes. Well, in my travels, and I've appeared at various fairs with different ones.
What was the most memorable experience?
Most memorable. Oh, dear. Let's see. There's been quite a few of the people that I've met. I presume the one that keeps coming to me since I'm down here at Disney World was when I met Walt Disney in California when I was making commercials for Oscar Mayer out there at Hollywood. And they gave us a day off to go to Disneyland at that time. That was in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Mr. Walt Disney at Disneyland.
That was one of my biggest thrills, too.
Oh.
I happened to be at Disneyland when our Olympic team was leaving, and they had a special celebration for him. And so I got to meet Bob Hope, who emceed the show. And at that time, Frankie Avalon was really big. He was coming off of that big Venus record. And, of course, Walt Disney and Jerry Colonna.
Oh, terrific.
was there. So that was quite an experience.
I think the majority of your celebrities, I think, are beautiful people. I mean, like, we had Cary Grant down here, and he ate at our restaurant. And so, of course, the Pantry Girls, back in the kitchen and all, couldn't get out to see him onto the dining room floor. So they asked me to go and ask him if he'd be so kind to come back. So I did. And after he finished his meal, he came back into the kitchen. In fact, he went down on the elevator to the lower part where the Pantry Girls were working to visit the girls.
Oh, they must have fainted, huh?
Well, this one girl, as you see on in the movies on television, where the girls stutter, they don't know what to say when they meet someone.
Right.
That's what this one girl did in particular. She was reaching a tray out of one of the trams there, food trays, and we stepped off the elevator, and Mr. Grant was behind me, and I said, Dee Dee, I said, Mr. Grant came down to say hello, and she turned around holding this tray and just looked him in the face and said, and just couldn't speak.
What do you do for recreation down there in Florida?
Well, I try to play golf.
Is that right? Do they make clubs your size? You have to have them specially made, or?
Yes, you can have them cut down, and then, too, for, like some of us little fellas, they, like some of the ladies' clubs, you can pick up a short set.
Oh, yeah.
And so some of the ladies are shorter. And I bet there's many companies that make them up special.
I almost forgot to ask you to sing that Oscar Mayer song. We were trying to remember the words this morning, and couldn't come up with them. And you've done it many times, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're ready.
Oh, well, at this hour in the morning, I'll try my best.
Okay.
Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly love to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me.
Little Oscar, this has been fun talking to you, and if we get down to Disney World, we'll have to look you up.
Well, thank you. I'll come down and join me for lunch.
Terrific. Take care, George.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
You too.
Everyone would be in love with me.
WOKY, Bob Berry, 1992.
Thank you for listening to Bob Berry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all the episodes at WisconsinBroadcastingMuseum.org. Check out Bob Berry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Angels Kids Fund and Donate Life Wisconsin. The preceding program was made possible by a generous contribution from Terry Vaughn.